friends. Hi there. Carson Meredith with you from the Wave Now studios. It is 7:20 on this Saturday night, August 9th. Hope you're well. Hope you've been able to stay cool as the heat is back. And this round of heat might be here to stay a little while longer than we want. Maybe even longer than what we've seen so far this summer. That is the big focus in our weather chat tonight. But we also have some downpours still holding on radar this evening. I'll show you where those are at the moment. And we'll also talk about the tropics, a little more buzz on social media the last day or so, and with decent reason. There is a system that might need to be watched closely. As you see, Wavy always checking in on us 24/7, even when it's quiet, showing us that app push that we just sent to you guys on the Wave Weather app. But we'll also really focus on the tropics as well, because that does have our attention. But let's go outside to downtown Louisville. Spaghetti Junction, humming right along. Just an hour or so ago, the clouds were rather widespread. Those puffy cumulus clouds we always get on a hot summer day, they bubble up during that hottest part of the day. And as we get later into the evening, we start to see those temperatures drop, and most of those clouds will clear out. And that's going to be the trend for much of the night ahead. A lot happening tonight. You got the Bats in town, of course. Lou City has their Fill the Fam night, where they try to pack out Lynn Family Stadium. I think Dusty Baker, our sports reporter, said 12,000 at Lynn Family Stadium tonight. So yeah, it's going to be a good night for soccer, it appears, but a hot one for sure. 90 our current temperature still here in Louisville. Last time I checked, we got up to 91 today. Might be closer to 92, but you get the idea. It was hot. And that's going to be the case for a while, I'm afraid. Here's radar, and there are still a couple of little blips, as we thought might be the case today. Excuse me. Let's go to southern Indiana first, and you can see a couple of those little blips. This is where most of these little downpours have been today, across Orange and Crawford County, Indiana. I have not even seen any lightning with any of these downpours today. It's really just heavy showers. But nonetheless, we've had quite a few heavy showers go over Patoka Lake, still one over the lake now. And this one downpour now moving out of our area, moving westward, crossed through Orange County a little while ago. But that's about it at the moment in Indiana, at least. Let's slide over to Kentucky. There were a few more downpours developing near Lexington, and they're still holding on this evening. They remain outside of wave country, but we'll keep an eye on these downpours near Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, close to the Bluegrass Parkway. If these hold together, they may sneak into Spencer County, and they may try to sneak into parts of Franklin and Shelby County over the next hour. So we'll keep an eye on it. No big deal. No big deal at all. Just a 10% chance, and any of these downpours still around by 9 o'clock tonight should start to be falling off the board as we lose that heat of the day. And quite honestly, guys, what we saw today is really what we're going to be seeing tomorrow and into Monday as well. Closer look at those temperatures across the board. You could tell on the colors where some of these downpours have been today. Just outside of our area between Shelbyville and Lexington, there's been a few more downpours over there. And that's why it's just a smidge cooler outside of wave country. But most of us are in the upper 80s. 89 in North Vernon, 88 in Seymour, 89 in Salem. Jeffersonville's at 91. And again, it's pretty much a copy and paste forecast for Sunday and into Monday. The sticky meter map, it's okay. It's not great. It's definitely humid, but it's not that miserable air you can wear humidity that we've been dealing with for much of the summer, really, going back into June and July. So what I'm trying to say is, yes, it's hot, but it could be much worse, especially when you factor in that humidity. Let's pause here so we can check the comments. Who's here tonight? Who is here? Anna's here on Twitter or X or whatever Elon's calling it today. Hope you're well, Ann. Crispy's here. Hello, hello. Albert says hi. ZK says hello. Sean's here. Oh, yeah, that's right, Sean. You're on your trip to Myrtle Beach. You're heading back home. Good to hear you made it home safe. Good deal. Good deal. Blue's here. Hi there, Blue. Anita says hi. 44 days till fall. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. I'm so excited. Let's see. Shonda's here. Hello. Had a brief downpour near Midway about 20 minutes ago. Yeah, that's kind of in that same general area where we have those downpours out near Lawrenceburg. They've been trying to drift into parts of Shelby and Spencer and Franklin County. So that's really going to be the only rain chance we have for another hour and a half. And then past 9 o'clock, we should be fine for the rest of the evening. Let's see. Crispy, I like when there's no lightning with these downpours. It keeps me from having to give the cats the anxiety meds. Yeah, they don't really have to worry about much thunder. They don't have to worry about any thunder tonight. And quite honestly, I'm not overly worried about thunder tomorrow with any downpours either. A couple more shout-outs. Kelly says hello from North Vernon, and Kim is watching us on Facebook as well. Appreciate you guys, even if the weather's quiet, that you're still hanging out with us on a Saturday night. 73, our forecast low here in Louisville this evening. Many of you will be in the low 70s again tonight. If you live up towards North Vernon, Kelly, if you live up towards Seymour, maybe down across southern Kentucky, if you live in the outlying areas, there's a chance you may be able to dip to around 68 or 69 overnight. Most of us, though, will be in the low 70s. And no matter what the exact temperature is, it will still be warm and it will still be muggy. For your Sunday, same old, same old. Maybe a degree warmer, in fact, tomorrow. 93 is our forecast actual high temperature on Sunday afternoon. And again, that humidity is there. You definitely notice it. I'm not ignoring that. But it's not miserable humidity. So that means the heat index is not quite as bad either. We're not talking about, feeling like 103, 105, 107. Instead, we're talking about that heat index around 98. Still hot, still need to take it easy, but we're not in dangerous territory when it comes to that humidity and the heat index that comes with it. Here's a look at Futurecast for tomorrow. I just want to mention it because we do still have that 10% chance for a couple downpours tomorrow afternoon, just like today. You notice as early as 2 or 3 o'clock, perhaps a couple little blips, 4 o'clock, still that chance with us through the afternoon. I'm going to look over the data this evening that comes in to see if that coverage of these downpours you see here on Futurecast increases tomorrow. So right here, this is basically a 10% chance, but if I look over the data this evening and maybe there's a few more downpours on Futurecast, I might have to bump that up to a 20% chance. Splitting hairs, I know, but we want to, of course, be accurate, right? So regardless, very low chance for an isolated downpour tomorrow afternoon. 10, maybe 20%. Don't cancel your plans. Just know that you might have to go inside for 10 or 15 minutes to let a quick downpour roll through. We keep the downpour chance through dinner time, just like tonight. And by 9 o'clock, goodbye. They fade away, and we'll be quiet heading into tomorrow night. The sticky meter map, or the graph, I should say, the sticky meter graph, again, humid, but not miserable. And we'll take that. And that trend's going to continue into next week, despite the fact that we get a little more unsettled again by Tuesday and Wednesday especially. Kind of two parts here with our next big weather maker. The first of which is going to be an influx of tropical moisture coming in from the Gulf, like so. So it is going to feel just a smidge more humid by the middle of the week, Tuesday and Wednesday. That, combined with a cold front up to our north and west, will kind of work together to increase our storm chances starting on Tuesday, going into Wednesday. And then by the end of the week, we kind of have to wait and see how those storm chances play out. So this is Tuesday afternoon. We're really more under the influence of the tropical moisture on Tuesday. So that's the reason why we got the higher storm chances then. By Wednesday, Not only is that moisture in place, but that front's a little bit closer to us, so I do expect the storm coverage to be a little higher on Wednesday compared to Tuesday. Regardless, neither day is a washout, so don't cancel your plans for the middle of the week. Now, the big question is, what happens late week? We know this front is going to get hung up near Indianapolis in all likelihood. The question is, when does it start to drift back to the northeast? When does it basically do a 180 and start to go back up towards the Great Lakes as a warm front? Because depending on how quickly that front can get a move on, that might either keep our storm chances around into Thursday or Friday or even next weekend, or it will kind of drop those storm chances if it does get a move on. If it wants to hang around, we'll have to keep those storm chances a little further into next week. If it gets a move on, then maybe we can keep those rain chances on the lower end by late next week. Wait and see how that plays out. You notice a lot of the moisture will likely stay to our south as we head into next weekend. Even so, that chance is still there for at least a few isolated downpours by Thursday and Friday of next week and going into next weekend too. I still think for now, the highest storm chances are Tuesday and Wednesday, and that's kind of the take-home message. But we'll wait and see how Thursday, Friday, and next weekend decide to play out. Okay, so that's the story here at home. Let's talk tropics, because I guarantee you that you guys have seen social media in the last 24 hours. So here's the deal. We've got two systems that we're watching now. Dexter, by the way, is gone. Dexter faded away, so we don't have to worry about him anymore. We've got two systems. There's a yellow blob to the north and an orange blob to the south. The yellow blob had decent probabilities just a couple of days ago of becoming a tropical system. But it just hasn't materialized, and that's happened several times so far this season. No complaints, but there's been the trend to see a system develop, but eventually it didn't play out. So with this yellow system, or this yellow blob, the chance of becoming a named, or I shouldn't say named, the chance of becoming a tropical system, be it a tropical depression, tropical storm, hurricane, is now down to 20%. So we're really not worried about that particular system anymore. Still on the board. Even if it does develop, it's not going to be an issue for the U.S. So let's not worry about the yellow blob. Let's ignore that. The orange blob is a different story. The models have been trying to, catch our attention for the last couple of days now about this particular wave coming off the western coast of Africa. And there is still some indications that this system will need to be monitored over the next few days. Right now, it's a 50-50 shot for this system to become an organized tropical system that's off the coast of Africa. Now, if you looked at the scary post on social media, especially yesterday, you would have seen some models indicating a pretty strong storm, likely a hurricane, going up the East Coast in a couple of weeks, in the August 18th to 22nd time frame. What I will tell you today is that this system is still on the board as becoming an organized system, be it a tropical storm or hurricane. But the trend today has been for this particular wave we've got highlighted here to curve out to sea and not be as much of a concern for the eastern U.S. That's the trend today. We may be sitting here tomorrow night, and I'm saying, guys, it's gone back to be more of a problem for the U.S. It's just way too early to talk about exact specifics on where this tropical wave is going to go. There's a long shot chance it may not do anything. It may not even develop. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it will develop, but it's just too early to say one way or the other what this system might do. There has been some indication it gets closer to the U.S. Now the trend's kind of made it more of a fish storm that curves back out over the Atlantic. So it's a wait-and-see game at this point. But August 18th to 22nd, so what is that, about 9 days from now to the 18th, we'll have to start really paying close attention to this to make sure it can stay out on the open water of the Atlantic. Erin, E-R-I-N, is the next name on the list this year. There is also some models suggesting maybe another wave kind of develops on the heels of this one, so maybe one trying to get its act together behind this initial wave. I'm just drawing scribbles now, I apologize, but we're getting into that time of year now where you're going to have more of these waves develop on the western coast of Africa that'll try to make a run for the Caribbean and possibly the United States. So this is very typical, really, for a hurricane season. The peak is in the second week of September, September 10th, I think. So we're not even at the peak of our season yet, and we're starting to heat things up. But this is the main system that has our attention right now, maybe getting close to the U.S. in about 10 days. Nothing to panic about. If you got plans that week of August, nothing to cancel at this point. Right now, the trends have been to move it back out more towards sea. Let's hope that trend continues. But it is something that we will be watching in the days to come. Back here at home, here comes your 10-day. You see a lot of 90s. A lot of 90s. Monday, in fact, could be the hottest day over this entire stretch of 94. And again, the humidity will be tolerable, which means it's not going to be triple-digit, feels like, temperatures, but it'll be upper 90s for sure. Tuesday and Wednesday, as we mentioned, still look to be the days with the most scattered storms right now. And we'll wait and see about Thursday and Friday and next weekend. Again, if that front decides to hang around into late next week and next weekend, we may have to bump up those storm chances. But if it can get a move on back to the north and east, hopefully we can keep those late week storm chances around 20%, which would be very good news for the first half of the Kentucky State Fair. Here we go. Low 90s. I mean, it's classic fair weather. It's classic. Low 90s, hot, humid, 20% chance for downpours in the afternoon, mainly. It's not the state fair without this kind of heat, right? And that certainly appears to be the case again as we get towards late next week into next weekend. So that's where we are, guys. No major threats anytime soon. Just your typical hot, humid, stormy August weather lies ahead. Let's go back to the comments and we'll wrap this thing up tonight. Braden can't wait to see Wavy in action. Yeah, Wavy's always working. He's always working 24/7. It's just his workload is lighter when it's quiet like it is. But he will be very busy and he'll be ready to go whenever severe weather moves in, which hopefully is a long ways off. Patricia saying thanks for the update, of course. Kelly asking about anything severe. Nothing, no huge outbreaks or anything like that, no. If we are going to have anything strong, it would just be like brief gusty winds on Tuesday and Wednesday especially. But that's about it. Even then, I'm not too worried about it. The biggest issue with any storms we see would just be the fact that they're slow movers and they would produce a lot of rain. So that might cause some minor flooding. Not a huge severe threat, though, thankfully. Braden, any alert days possible? Excuse me. Seems like every time I get in our Wave Now studios, I start to get all congested. Braden, no alert day possibilities at this point, thankfully. Crispy, Yes, we are with you, my friend. So tired of people picking out worst case scenarios on models and doing it just for the clicks. Talking about hurricanes. It distracts from real weather safety info. That is exactly right. And that is what's so frustrating about being a meteorologist in the 2020s is you have to find a way to cut through the noise. And you have to reach out to these people that listen to that noise and say, hey, come over here. We'll give you the accurate info that you need to plan. It's just this wild, wild west social media world that we live in, right? Unfortunately. But that's why we always encourage you to watch us here on Wave Weather Now. We'll give you the facts as they are. We're not going to hype anything up. That's not our job. Our job is to inform, not hype. Yeah, Austin, don't say that too loud, right? Grateful for this long break from severe weather, knock on wood. Yeah, please. Hopefully we can keep that trend going for a while. Let's see. Justin says hello, hello, hello. Likelihood been asked for a rain chance to be bumped up Tuesday, Wednesday. It's possible. I still don't think those days will be washouts. There will be dry time. I could see a scenario where Wednesday goes to 60%. If we're just looking at those 2 days, I could see a scenario where Wednesday goes to 60% with that front nearby. I could also see a scenario where I have to bump up Thursday and Friday and next weekend to 30%. I'm not ready to do that right now, but I could see that scenario. But again, no days of washout. So obviously, as we get closer, we'll be able to fine-tune those numbers even more than they already are. Let's see. Braden, question about wavy. When wave weather now is in an alert day mode, will wavy be red to match the stream? You know what? I am not sure. That's a really good question. I really don't know. Maybe if Ryan Hoke is listening tonight, he can answer that question for us. But I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out whenever we have our next alert day, right? Let's see. All right. Jeremy, I'm with you. Ready for fall. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Betty, I wish we had two-tiered temps for metro and non-metro, because a lot of times these temps don't verify outside the city. That is very true, Betty. You're absolutely right. But if you do have the Wave Weather app, we have multiple distinct areas where we on the Wave Weather team go into the app and customize those temperatures and rain chances just for your location. For that exact reason, we know that if you live down in E-Town, that there's a good chance you're going to be 3 to 5 degrees cooler than Louisville, for sure, because of the heat island, right? But also please understand that an overwhelming majority of our viewers are living in the metro, so, and we don't want to list all the different numbers on the 10-day because it'll just get too messy. We don't like clutter on our graphics here at Wave. So that's why we encourage you to have the Wave Weather app, because wherever you are in Wave Country, that forecast that you get in the app is customized for your location. So if you live in E-Town, or if you live up in Paoli, or if you live in Seymour, the forecast you see in the app is just for you. And we factor in that cooler effect, that non-heat island effect outside of the city on the Wave Weather app. We just can't do it, unfortunately, on our 10-day because it would just get too messy. But we, excuse me, we definitely understand your concern. Let's see. Ben, thanks for keeping us informed. Not a fan of the heat, but I'll take this over what we had a few weeks ago. Yeah, I agree. I don't like the 90s, but if it's not too humid, we can deal with it. Austin, any cool fronts coming soon? Not any fronts that will really cool us down much. The coolest day right now is Wednesday. I've got 90. That's it. I don't see much of a chill anytime soon. Of course, as Anita pointed out earlier, we're still 44 days away from fall, so we got to hang in there a little bit. Let's see. All right. Any last-minute comments before we go? I think we're in good shape. I see you guys chatting it up on YouTube, which is awesome. So that's where we are, guys. Pretty ho-hum, to be honest with you. Hot, humid, couple downpours tomorrow afternoon, Monday afternoon, before those better storm chances arrive by Tuesday and Wednesday. That's about it. So that's where we are at this point. I don't want to waste any more time because I appreciate you guys tuning in. I don't want to make you bored. We'll be back on Wave News at 11 p.m. tonight on the Old School TV or on the Wave Now app, the Wave News app as well. We hope you'll tune in if you're still awake. If not, I'll be here all day tomorrow on Wave News Sunrise starting at 6 a.m. And, of course, we'll have another weather chat here on Wave Weather Now around 7:15 tomorrow night. Have a great rest of your Saturday, everybody. Have a good Sunday. Stay cool, and I'll talk to you soon.